Shirley, Shirley, for Burley, for Nana, Fana, for Furley, Fee, Fine, Mo, Merly, Shirley. Come on, everybody. I say, now let's play a game. I bet you I could make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The name game.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
Welcome to the Christian Car Guy Radio Show.
I say this calls for action, and now.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
The name game returns to the Christian Car Guy Show. How fun. If you've not heard this before, you're going to have so much fun today as we are going to give you the opportunity to name your car. So it's the name game Fire and Water version today. I'm so excited. Get ready to call us to get your car named. 866-348-7884. 866-348-7884. It has been proven that people who name their cars take better care of them. It's like people that have, if you have a pet name for your wife, it's because you dearly adore them, or your husband, or your kids, right? You give them a special name because they mean something to you. And so we're going to do that for your car today. And we have an amazing looking, if you go to my website, christiancarguy.com, you're going to see a birth certificate. So when you call in today at 866-348-7884, well, not only will we give you a name for your car, but we will issue it a Christian Car Guy birth certificate, which you'll receive via email, thanks to my trusty production staff of Nick, my producer, and his assistant Randy today. And so the question is, have you named your car, and how do you do that? So we ask you 4 questions, which I want to do. I'm going to set the example because we've never named Randy's car, and Randy's got a beautiful car. And so, Randy, have you got a mic somewhere handy where you can?
I do. I think I've got it.
All right. So the first question in naming Randy's car will be, how old is your car?
It is a 2019, so 6 years plus.
Prior to COVID.
Yeah. Exactly. And I don't think it got COVID.
Yeah. And what color is this?
This is a metallic gray.
It is metallic gray. I've seen it. It's beautiful. And what personality does your car have? You have a choice. It's multiple guess. Is it adventurous, an attention seeker? Is it clever? Is it grumpy? Is it happy? Is it unpredictable, playful, or sensible? How would you describe your car among those categories?
Oh, my. Well, it's smarter than I am, so I'm going to say it's adventurous.
Ah, I like that. Adventurous. God's adventurous. I don't know if you ever thought about that. He likes to take big risks. He gave Scott Barton the freedom of choice. But anyway, it is the Jesus Labor Love Weekend, so we got Scott with us too. But with all that said, what Bible character, the last of the 4 questions to name Randy's car is, what Bible character does your car remind you of?
That's a difficult question. I'm going to say Paul.
It's going to remind him of Paul. Okay, so the phone's ringing as Randy's going to get that. We're going to put all this into our Christian Car Guy name generator. And Nick, are we ready to generate a name?
Let's do it.
All right. And so, the more I thought about this, it's really a beautiful thing, is the car name for Randy's car, since, it's prior to COVID, which this person was prior to COVID, is, the color was metallic gray, and then, adventurous. And I'm going to go, since, he liked Paul had a particular affinity for the For, the disciple Mark, I don't know if you knew that, but originally he kind of booted him. But later on, he mentions him in how important he was in his ministry, because I think Mark must have been what adventurous, don't you think? So I think that Randy's car will be named Mark. How about you? Do you want your car named? You got to call us. We got a special birth certificate for you. 866-348-7884. 866-34-TRUTH. And so, Scott, it's good to have you back. It is the Jesus Labor Love Weekend. And so the Jesus Labor Love is car repair labor for single moms, widows, and families in crisis across the country. God's given us that ministry. It's absolutely amazing what God has given us to do. And we would love for you to get more involved in it, either through our prayer team or through be able to, if God puts it on your heart, to donate a car or donate funds, as we get an opportunity every week, right, to see people that really, they fell between the cracks, and the Jesus Labor Love was there for them, right, Scott?
Absolutely.
All right. So we have our first contestant. We have Ramona on the phone for us. We got Ramona. And Ramona,
good morning, Ramona.
Are you excited?
Good morning.
I am excited.
I've never done this before.
Oh,
I thought about it. But anyway.
I'm so glad you did.
A deep dive.
All right. So first question, Ramona. How old is your car?
She is, I say she.
Oh, good.
I think that's a she.
Yeah.
She's my car. 2005.
Oh, good. Okay. And what color is it?
She's a Goldie taupe.
Goldie taupe. Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Now you make me wonder, what kind of car is it?
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. A Mercedes.
Whoa, that is Goldie taupe. That's beautiful.
And it's a CDI 320 diesel.
How cool.
Yes.
That's a neat car. So would you describe your car as adventurous, attention seeker, clever, grumpy, happy, unpredictable, playful, or sensible?
I'd say adventurous, because she's been just recently in an accident. We bought her used, and she was sold with a, what do you call that title? That she had been in an accident, a bad accident.
Right, rebuilt.
And so we bought her with issues.
Okay, and so this adventurous Goldie taupe Mercedes, what Bible character does she remind you of?
Oh, let me think. I'm thinking of Ruth, because Ruth was very adventurous.
Oh.
She struck out from her homeland.
You're right. She was extremely okay. So let's put all this in the Christian Car Guy car name generator, and so it's generating, Ramona. It's thinking.
My car.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but the first time that the word hope is used in the Bible is in the book of Ruth.
Okay.
And it's Naomi that says that, okay? And so I got great hopes. I do. I have great hopes for your new car's name is Naomi. Oh.
Naomi.
Isn't that neat?
Well, interesting. Well, I had an aunt, Naomi.
Did you really?
Yeah, she was a very sweet lady.
Well, she's looking down on us right now.
She is. She is. Because I said I had an aunt.
I heard you say that. But I figure that she now realizes that, there's a little bit of the spirit of Naomi in the Goldie taupe Mercedes as it goes clickety-clack down the road. I love that sound of a diesel engine. I really do. I just think
I do too.
That it's such genius, whoever came up with the idea of using unrefined oil in order to make cars run. So God bless you. Thank you, Ramona, for calling in today. Makes my day.
Well, thank you, Robbie, and thank you for this wonderful service.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun.
Naming cars.
All right. Thank you. God bless.
God
All right.
bless you too.
Who's next? 866-348-7884, 866-348-7884. We got Ted Ryan actually is going to be on in the next segment to talk about a huge opportunity. I mean, it's an opportunity. It's an announcement from Ford, something they've never done before. And so I know you're going to be excited to hear about what that is. And, of course, we got people calling in with a Jesus Labor Love. I got a wonderful thank you letter from a lady who helped some people get a car, actually, a 2001 minivan. That was really helpful, Scott, that you had part of that. I'm going to read that letter later. And how about you? 866-348-7884, 866-348-7884. I'm telling you, it's proven that people who name their cars take better care of them. So we're playing the name game, Fire and Water, which we'll get to why that's called Fire and Water, what I'm thinking about there, after we hear from Ted in the next segment. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Truth Network and truthnetwork.com.
The name game.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
I don't need my name in lights. I'm famous in my Father's eyes. Make no mistake, He knows my name. I'm not living.
The name game today on the Christian Car Guy Show, Fire and Water. It's your opportunity to get a name for your car and a Christian Car Guy by birth certificate, custom made to your new car's name. But meanwhile, we got Ted Ryan. He's with Ford Motor Company, and they got a big announcement we want to make you aware of. Like, what an opportunity if you happen to be a car collector. Good morning, Ted. How are you? Help if I clicked him on the line. Hello, Ted. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on. We do have a big announcement. I think I spoke to you earlier this year when we announced that we were establishing the Ford Heritage Fleet. And now, as part of that, we are selling our first vehicle to help support the fleet. We're selling a 2006 Heritage Edition GT40. It's actually Heritage Edition number 3. We actually already have Heritage Edition 1 and 2. So we knew from the beginning that we were going to be selling duplicates and other cars that did not meet our collecting criteria. And this is our first sale. It's going to happen at Barrett-Jackson Auctions 1 week from today.
1 week from today. And those auctions are online, right? So people could bid right there?
They are. If you go to barrettjackson.com, you can sign up for it. This will be the lowest, the car collectors, and I'm sure you've got some that listen to you, they love the lower the serial number or the lower the VIN number. And this is VIN number 3. This is the third Heritage Edition 2006 ever produced. And it's a funny story, interesting story anyway. So the Ford GT, we brought it back in 2005 and 2006. We made just over 4,000 of them. And in 2006, as a farewell, because the program was ending, we announced that this Heritage Edition package, and for those of you that know the Gulf livery with the beautiful blue and orange, that's what it is. It is the beautiful blue and orange car. And we announced that was a $13,000 add-on package that you could get. And we built just over 300 of those. So this is number 3 of 300 that's going to be auctioned off next Saturday.
What a cool opportunity. And I love the whole Heritage Fleet, which, by the way, Ted, since last I talked to you, and based on our relationship with the Jesus Labor Love, which we're talking about today, car repair labor for single moms and widows, one of our donors that donated a car to us, his father had a Model A, a 1929 Model A Roadster that he totally rebuilt.
Wow.
Beautiful car. And his father had passed but wanted it to go to a ministry. And so guess what I got this here about 3 months ago? My very own
29 Model A. There you go.
29 Model A Roadster, in which we're actually, so I have my own Heritage Fleet now. A fleet of one.
The unique thing about the Model A was the first car to ever have the blue oval on it. So the blue oval was actually designed by Edsel Ford. I love the Model A, designed by Edsel Ford, and when we replaced the Model T, Edsel was Henry's son, and Henry did not design cars. Henry was an engineer type of person, but Edsel loved art. He loved design. He designed the Model A, and always.
So those blue ovals on the bumpers, Is that the blue
No,
oval?
the front.
Pardon me?
The front.
On the grill.
The very front of the car.
Oh.
That has the Ford logo in it. So
You're right. You're right. Now I'm going to be very proud. I'm going to go put some extra shine on that. But it also, I don't know if you ever noticed, Model A's have a sideways oval on the bumpers.
they do. That was Edsel once again. It was a miniature Lincoln was his vision for it. So we were upgrading the Model T that we had sold 15 million of them. And Edsel's vision for the Model A was a miniature Lincoln because he was president of Lincoln Motors at the time as well. And so he designed what he felt was the perfect car. And then in 1932, it got the famous flathead Ford V8. So it became an even more spectacular car. But be proud of that Model A. I love the A. I've got a deep affinity for it because it makes me think of Edsel Ford and his love and his passion for art and for design and wonderful family man. The Edsel and Eleanor Ford home. They had 4 kids, 3 of whom were sons who all worked for Ford, including Henry Ford the second. So
now I'd never actually even driven a Model A until I got this car, and now I have a question that maybe you can answer, Ted. Were they all short?
Yes. Well, they were different. They were different top hats put on the same chassis. So you could get 2 doors, you could get 4 doors, you could.
What I mean is, for me, I'm 6'5". I can't hardly get behind the wheel because you can't move the seat.
No, you can't. So no, yes, they. How many 6'5" people were there running around in 1929? We've gotten not as many as you think.
Yeah, but so this Mustang, like, what an opportunity for a lot of the cool things, right? Just to bring more publicity to the heritage fleet, more publicity to what Ford is doing, because it's such a part of Americana, right?
It is, and every penny, I forgot to mention that, just as you're talking about your ministry, but every penny, not quite the same ministry, but every penny from the sale of this car will go to support the fleet. In fact, the first use I'm going to do with it is I'm going to get some GT40s that are in my Ford of England fleet repaired so that they can run next year for the 60th anniversary of the victory at Le Mans. So it's expensive to keep these old cars up and running, but we're going to take every penny from the hammer price when it sells next Saturday, and it will go to support the heritage fleet. There's 500 vehicles around the world between Germany, Australia, England, and the United States. And my goal is to, over the next 10 years, to get at least half of the fleet up and running so people can enjoy them as they're meant to be on the road.
Oh, that's so cool. It really, really is. And I just, for those of us who love old cars and those kind of things, it's just, or classic cars, right? Things that right? For those of us who grew up in the car business, and I imagine you were close to it, Ted, where you live, that my dad would take us to the car shows. Like the Chicago Auto Show at the time was a huge deal. And they would have all these cars, like what we're talking about here at the auto show, that a lot of them never went into production. But they all went into something, to just be absolutely cool examples of, like you said, of what Edsel designed and the genius of what ended up being the next Corvette or the next Mustang or the next, whatever. But thank you again, Ted, so much for being with us. I hate we ran out of time.
Well, thanks for having me on. But go to BarrettJacksonAuctions.com and you can look at this car.
Yeah, you can. And we got Wendy is going to play the name game. We need you. 866-348. 866-348-7884.
You're listening to the Truth Network and TruthNetwork.com.
The name game.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
I don't need my name in lights. I'm famous in my Father's eyes. Make no mistake, He knows my name. I'm not living for applause.
The name game today on the Christian Car Guy Show is names are so gigantically important to our identity. And I don't know if you've given much thought to the idea that according to the book of Revelation, we get a name, a new name that Jesus himself is going to give us as he loves us. And he obviously wants us to have that identity. And so you may know through the Bible that people like Simon were renamed Peter, and people like Saul were renamed Paul, and even Jacob received the name Israel when he wrestled with the angel. And so these names are very extremely, gigantically important. If you think about it, when you say the Lord's Prayer, probably the first thing you might say is something along the lines of, hallowed be thy name, right? And that idea of the holiness of the name of God. And so since we're made in his image, he has this idea of identity. And so as you heard in the intro, I said this is the name game Fire and Water today. And so the word name in Hebrew is just Shem. It's just two letters. It's a shin and a mem. But those two letters represent their pictures in the Hebrew language, and they're a picture of fire, which is the shin, and water, which is the mem. And interestingly, I find this more than fascinating than if you hear the word for heaven. So it's, our Abba, which are in Shemaim, hallowed be thy Shem, or Kadosh be thy Shem. In other words, you hear the S and the M sound in Shemaim, which it's very cool that it's actually like names plural, or you might say that fire and water is also rain. And I don't know if you've ever thought about what comes out of heaven on a normal basis. Two things, fire and water. And so there's some identity in all of us that is this picture of fire and water. And certainly when you think about your car, just saying, inside of that is fire and water. Obviously you got the fire of the ignition, the internal combustion engine, unless you're electric. But even if it's electric, there's some fire. You would see it inside those sparks that are making that the armature go around. And then there's water. That's meant to cool the system, which I don't know if you've given this much thought, but hell is a place of fire, right?
Yep.
But it's not a place of rain.
Mm-mm.
There's nothing there to cool your tongue down. So only in heaven do water and fire exist in union. On earth, they don't. They kind of resist one another, and in hell, water isn't even there. But in heaven, fire and water work together to form this unbelievable identity. So this is our chance today to help you get that for your car. We just need you to call us 866-348-7884. We got a wonderful car birth certificate, Bible Christian Car Guy car certificate. We got Wendy Mitchell in Raleigh who is wanting to play the name game / I know, Wendy, you were one of the recipients of the Jesus Labor Love Car, right?
Yes. Good morning, Robbie. I'm so excited. I didn't know you had the name game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we've got to do it. We got to do it. I know a little bit about this car, but we still got to take you through the 4 questions so that people can see if when they call in at 866-348-7884 how they can get it done. So first question is, how old is your car? What year is that Volvo?
2005.
A 2005.
20 years old.
And
it's beautiful.
And it is gold, isn't it?
It is gold, yeah.
It's a golden Volvo. And so would you describe your Volvo, would you call it a man or a woman? Is it a male or a female?
Oh, gosh. That's a good question.
Well, let's go with the personality, and maybe that'll help you with that. So would you say your Volvo is adventurous, attention seeker, clever, grumpy, happy, unpredictable, playful, or sensible?
Oh, wow. It's both adventurous and sensible. Are they the same gender or not?
I heard the sensible. What was the first one?
Adventurous.
Oh, adventurous and sensible. That sounds like a woman to me.
I think
Good
so.
answer. Good answer.
And so with that in mind, what biblical character might your car remind you of that's both sensible and adventurous?
I'm going to go with Esther.
Oh,
Queen
I was thinking the same thing.
Were you really?
I was.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Esther. That is an interesting challenge right there now.
Wise.
Esther. Yes, very, very. You know that Esther arguably was the most powerful Jewish person to ever live.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Because the Medo-Persia Empire that she was queen of had more provinces than any empire in the history of the world. So, I mean, it was unbelievably huge. So Esther, like, man, oh, absolutely. Just, that is so cool. I love it. All right, so putting all that in the car name generator, Bible generator. All right. And the name for the Volvo, both sensible and adventurous, by all means, would be Mary is the way you would say it in Greek, but, you know, Miriam is the original benefactor of that name. So we're going to call her Miriam. What do you think?
I love that. That's
Yeah, she jumped in the water with her brother in the basket, and then she was adventurous enough to, you know, approach Pharaoh's daughter. Did you ever think about how courageous that was? Like, excuse me, you know that baby you got right there?
Yeah.
Yes. So there you go. Miriam will receive a beautiful birth certificate. And again, I'm so grateful that God provided that for you, Wendy. Do you have anything else you wanted to share today?
I'm just a little jealous that I heard you talking about having a Model A 1929 Roadster. And in the best way, I'm jealous. I'm like, man, what a blessing.
It is. And so,
on both of us.
you know, since you're not terribly far from my church, which is in Ramsboro, North Carolina, kind of right before you get to Siler City, we on October 26th, that is the Sunday, the October 26th before Halloween, we are having a trunk or treat, and we are fixing up the Model A as sort of a ghost ride, so that anybody that wants to come ride the Model A, we're going to be having rides, very fun, on October 26th in Ramsor at Kildee Church, which is our church that I pastor. So wonderful. Would love to see you, obviously, Wendy, but I know it's a ride out there. But we're going to be doing that for people that want to try the Model A. I'm so grateful for your call today.
Thank you, Robbie. I have a son who, you know, would love to see that Model A.
Oh, well,
we
bring him out. We would love to take him for a ride.
How old is Trey now?
Trey is 16 now.
That's so cool. Then we're going to have hay rides, too, and all sorts of fun. Just come on out.
That's so cool. We were at a car show last weekend, and I thought of you. I took the Volvo and drove him to see some cars off Page Road at Coffee and Cars in Durham.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He had the best time. I thought of you guys for sure.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you, Wendy, so much. Well, you have a blessed weekend. God bless.
You.
Thanks for the call, Wendy.
Thank you, too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So I know you're sitting there thinking, I need a name. So, you know, I can be more in love with my car. You do. So the more you like it, the better you take care of it. 866, the number to call. And not only do you get to get a name, you get a birth certificate, everything. 866-348-7884. 866-348-7884. So this week, you know, the Jesus Labor Love, if you're just now tuning in or you're not familiar with it, it is Car Repair Labor. It's a ministry. It's a 501c3 ministry within the Christian Car Guy radio show, where we help single moms, widows, and families in crisis with usually car repair, because we probably repair 50 cars for every car that we actually have an opportunity to give away. But mostly it's car repair labor for single moms, widows, but sometimes people donate cars to us, which we're so grateful for, and then we have an opportunity to give those away. And so I received this letter this week from someone that helped with one of those cars and being the beneficiary of it to some extent, because she's the one who passed word on to the people that they were available. So I got this letter from Betty Garcia, and it says, Dear Christian Car Guy, I was listening late one Saturday night to the Truth Network, which, by the way, we come on late on Saturday night as well as live during the day, and I heard you asking for donated cars. I've been trying to help this couple since last September, driving them to the grocery and the pharmacy and doctor's appointment. I called the woman and asked her to give you a call and see if you could give them a car. and they are both on disability and have 3 children. Well, you told them it would take months or maybe a year. However,
you're listening to the Truth Network and truthnetwork.com.
The name game.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
The name game today on the Christian Car Guy Show, Fire and Water edition. So if you want to, this is your last segment to get a chance to get your car named. So call us. The number to dial is 866-348-7884. 866-348-7884. We want to give your car a name. We can have fun playing the game, and then you will get a official Christian Car Guy birth certificate with your car's name on it and all that stuff, so that help you to cherish it, and really a beautiful thing. So when we left they said I left you on a cliffhanger. So I was reading this wonderful letter that I'd received from a listener that had helped this other couple get this van. And so again, describing where she was in this, she heard the Christian Car Guy Show, and then she reached out to these people that she was helping give rides. And it says here, you told her it would take months or maybe a year to give them a car, and you kept in contact with them. And on Saturday, September 6th, she told me that they were to go for a car Monday, September 15th. I got up early and took them to get the 2001 Chrysler van in Winston-Salem. The man who met us was very nice. That must be you. They didn't meet me, they wouldn't have thought I've been wanting to let you know how much I appreciate you giving them a van to drive. Well, let me point out, it was not me. It was God, right? And then there was an unbelievable donor somewhere, and the Christian Car Guy Show was just simply the middleman of the deal. But it says they're enjoying it, and now I can help someone else. So I want to take that to share something amazing with you. So I don't know if you've ever looked at the 90th Psalm as you begin to age and you get closer to the age of 70. You might want to look at it. Moses describes life in the 90th Psalm, and even talks about that you could live 70 years, and by strength 80. You may be familiar with that. And then he goes on to talk about how those years are toilsome labor, and the vanity of that, or the boasting of that. And he contrasts it with the 16th verse. And if you got a pencil or something, write down Psalm 90:16 is really a precious thing, especially when I think about this ministry that God gave us. It says, "Let thy work appear unto thy servants, and thy glory unto their children." And so that word that's just translated work there is similar to the word toil that he uses earlier, but they're gigantically different ideas in Hebrew. So toilsome labor is, that idea of we got cursed with, okay? But the word thy work, this word has in the middle of it the letter pay, which is literally God's face. And so this is an opportunity to work with God, not for God, but with God, right? And if you're in a Jesus Labor Love, whether you're in the prayer team, whether or not you're a donor, whether or not you associate with us in any way, shape, or form, helping cars or whatever, then God has let his work appear to you, right? Because as we do this stuff with God, his glory appears to his children. And in other words, anybody that sees this and sees the joy that somebody, they were in a bad situation, and God clearly, when I was given the idea of the ministry, he said he wanted his name in it. And so this is a show about name. Well, the name of the Jesus Labor Love starts with that, so there would never be any doubt where it came from, that the help, right?
I love it.
It always came there. And so, yeah, Scott, we get to take part in this most days of our lives. We're, associated with this ministry because we get opportunities all the time for people that are hurting. And it amazes me how many times they just simply want to tell their story.
Absolutely, yeah. I hear a lot of stories.
Right. And part of being a minister in the Jesus Labor Love, I can assure you, is just simply to shut up and let them talk, because they've been through it. And they've had a really hard time, right, Scott?
Absolutely, yeah.
They feel betrayed by husbands or car repair places or all sorts of things where they just feel like, the government wasn't there to help them, their own church, whatever their situation is. It's amazing what we hear all the time. But nonetheless, who will never forget them, who will always be faithful, who always wants to meet their needs when they turn and they ask, right?
Absolutely. A lot of them are just trying to find a way so they can contribute.
So again, if you're interested and you want some of God's work to appear to you, maybe you've got a car out there that you're thinking you're fixed to get a new car, and you got another car, or however it works, God put it on your heart. Well, if you go to ChristianCarGuy.com, or you can go to JesusLaborLove.com, we have both domains. But, ChristianCarGuy.com is where most people go, and there you're going to see banners to, if you need help, if you're one of those people that like, man, oh yeah, I know somebody that desperately needs help. Good. Because again, we're the middleman. And if it weren't for people that needed help, we wouldn't be able to provide the help, right? And so if you're the middleman, you need as many people over here that need help as you need people over there that are willing to supply the help. And so it's really a cool thing that website ends up being clearly that opportunity for people to come into the ministry either by asking for help or by receiving help, right?
Yes. So if you have a car just sitting there and you haven't drove it in a while and it won't start, don't worry, we can come get it. A lot of times we can fix it up and somebody else can use it, but sometimes we can't, and then we can still sell it and use that money.
Yeah, we use it for salvage, and we take that money and fix another car that somebody else gave us. It's an amazing opportunity that God gave us to help anybody, with any situation when it comes to cars, because our ministry is car related. So sometimes we get other requests, and hopefully we have other ministries we can lay them to. But again, it is the Jesus Labor Love, which is part of the Christian Car Guy and ChristianCarGuy.com. So if you go to that webpage, you're going to, again, see this idea of name. And so I want to go back there for a minute, since I don't see any people wanting to get their car names, but you do have a couple minutes. If you hurry, I'll get it in there. 866-348-7884. But the idea of a name, often God named people something before they became who they were. The perfect example is Gideon, right? Gideon is down in the wine press, right? He's down like in the which would essentially be a hole threshing his wheat. He didn't want to be out in the open where you'd usually be on the top of a hill threshing wheat, because people would see you, i.e. the Midianites, and they would come and steal your grain, right? But he's scared, and so where is he? He's down in the wine press. He's threshing his wheat because he doesn't want to be scared. And an angel appears to him, and what does the angel say to him? Mighty warrior. He gives him that name. Mighty warrior. Well, at this point in time, Gideon was so far from a mighty warrior, it's unbelievable, right? However, God knew all along that it would be Gideon who would lead the 300, right, to rescue Israel from the Midianites. And but God sees your heart, and he helps you with that idea of your identity, and it's often found, right, in a name. And it amazes me. We do this exercise at our boot camps, which, I'm with Masculine Journey Radio boot camps as well. We have a boot camp coming up, and we always have people go out and ask God, what do you call me? Because I can assure you that's available to you now. You don't have to wait to heaven. God would love to tell you what he calls you, because I can assure you he loves you with all his heart, and he has a special name for you that's available whenever you want to ask. It's just simply a matter of getting quiet, asking, and listening. God, what do you call me? Or if you didn't have a chance to call in and get your car name today, ask God to help you name it. We would love to help you with that. If you want a birth certificate, again, go to ChristianCarGuy.com. So, thank you, Scott, as always.
My pleasure.
Thank you for listening today. And remember, slow down. Jesus walked everywhere he went and got it all done.